introduce and whatever.
All right, now we're recording. Today's March 11th. And
Mm-hmm.
as we've been going on this journey of discovery of just who we are as coaches and building this relationship together, it's kind of fun. You had introduced a topic that we're going to spend some time exploring. So I'm going to let you introduce the topic and we'll just kind of get started as to why we are why we're excited about this topic, why we're introducing this topic, and what it can mean for us personally and for our clients. So
All right. Yes. So Shell and I are certified from the same institute. That's Institute of Psychology of Eating. Some of these topics have inspired us in our life. That's why we are here, right? So I was introduced with this topic, Shell, 10 years back, and I was introduced with the topic. It instantly felt like welcome home. I went for just, with out of curiosity, okay, if I can get into healthy food habit and stuff. But ended up happening that, I lost some weight too. Just being myself, and then eating what I would like to eat and making some changes, right? So down the line, again, it's like a snooze button, right? So now the weight came back again. But I have this empowerment in my head that, okay, I have this great tool. Whenever I want, I can just go back, right? Now, 10-year forward, um, nowadays I am in my menopausal state, right? So I wonder, whatever I do, whatever I learn, my weight doesn't budge, right? So I stay at the same weight. Okay, so because of that, it kind of feels that, okay, whatever I'm trying to tell my clients or reach out to my clients, okay, does it work? I want to check for myself, right?
right.
So here is something, I think last week we talked about curiosity. I'm coming from the place of curiosity, and I would like to understand the challenge from the place of curiosity to understand what this is all about. So this is something I titled it as weight as a doorway to becoming, right? So weight management or losing weight, or it's not losing even, it's like, whatever is optimum for my age and for my body, let it decide. But I still want to be curious and understand what it is about. It's a journey, right? So this is where we started.
Right.
And now hearing my story, I would like to hear your insight, probably take a tip out of this discussion, and let's keep sharing our journey, right? However long it takes.
I love that. And I'll just re-mention again, you had said we were starting this conversation this morning. We were talking about the struggle of weight as a doorway to becoming who we are. And so I think this is so fascinating because I started the Psychology Mind Body Eating course back in I believe it was 2022. And I went through the course through 2023. And it was because of this topic itself. I've been a weight loss coach for years. I struggled with weight myself probably my entire life. I was kind of that chubby child, teased by other children, kind of teased by my family. I'll be really, really honest here. My nickname was Shelly Belly Full of Jelly, was what my cousins used to call me.
Oh my
So
God.
there was a tease there. And so there was always this underlying, theme in my life that my weight was a problem. And so that's what I heard from the world. That's what I heard from my family, that my weight was a problem. And so I was just a normal kid, normal body size if I look back at pictures now. But for years I spent thinking that there was something wrong that I had to solve. And so, I went on the weight loss journey like so many other women, spent 40 years dieting, lost 100 pounds 3 times in my adult life, and was really still struggling with the kind of the missing piece. So the psychology of mind body eating course really helped me to discover that our struggles can become messengers of areas of our life that maybe we are not fully present to or in tune with. So as we go on this journey of discovery together, I'm excited to just talk about different things that we've learned through psychology of mind body eating. Also, we both come from different spiritual backgrounds, and so we both have a unique a relationship spiritually that lends to a beautiful part of this discovery, this doorway of becoming who we are. I was sharing this morning with you that I believe part of our problem with weight is we forget who we are, who we were really created to be. And
Yes.
so this journey of losing this 100 pounds for this last time and maintaining it for myself has been probably the biggest life lesson that I've received, because it was a place from curiosity. It was a place of, instead of fighting my body and fighting myself and fighting my because I'm also was it premenopause? Is that what you would call it? Because I'm not
Perimenopause.
yeah, I'm not fully in menopause yet. I keep thinking I am. I'll go a couple months and then it'll all start all over again. And so I'm kind of in that same journey. And as someone who's on that journey and has been able to lose some weight on it, I think it's just a part of the curiosity becomes inviting in a sense of that the solution already exists, and that it's about learning how to calm down and become part of the rhythm of it, if that makes sense. The journey is this place of self-discovery. We are becoming kind of new in our bodies, our vessels. We're becoming new because we're in this stage of life that's changing. And so it's like, how can I be curious to invite in all of the things that come with this new identity as I become an older woman. So I don't know if there's I'm sure there's a million things you could probably share here, but if there was one thing that you could give us as a takeaway to get started on this journey, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, so the takeaway, whatever I'm hearing from you, right? One is a journey, right? Second, it's a body as a vessel, right? How it's inviting or reincarnating. Those are the words that are coming to me, right? Reincarnating I don't know if it is reincarnating or identifying, right? Basically, you're saying identifying who I am. So that is triggering something within me that, I'm also certified Circle of Life coach. So I have learned and practiced this so much. The core value, who we are, it is so important, right? So I'm going to work on this week, tapping into core values, tapping into identity, and the journey, right? The journey, whatever journey we are on to right now, exploring why do I have this extra weight, So these are the three things that are coming. And, next week, I would like to share whatever I have discovered. So that's interesting.
What comes up for you? Yeah, I love this. So this will be a fun thing to continue to get into here, because the journey is part of it, right? So much if our life is if we're present to the life that we're living,
Yes.
then part of the discovery is, what do we find on the journey? What are the roadblocks that get in the way, or what are the systems that we can learn from and discover in our whole growth journey, our whole I love the core values. It's like, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about the world and the universe? And
Right.
so it's definitely a calming. All of those thoughts and all of those beliefs help create our value system, and they help create our identity. So I think this is going to be a fun journey. And so once again, we're kind of focusing on weight. As we go through life, we think of it as a struggle, and it's like, how do we learn to have curiosity there instead of looking at it as a struggle, looking at it as a
Yes.
messenger? What are the messages that the maybe excess weight or weight in general in our culture, what do we make that mean about who we are?
Right.
And how do we learn to lessen the struggle?
Another thing, I'll end my conversation, Shell, while we are discussing. In a way, I'm happy to have this weight. You know why?
What?
This time when I went to India, okay, there were certain comments that came along my way, right? Like you said, right? You grew up certain way and how people comment. And I never heard these comments earlier, right? So in a way, it's a good to put on that lens and see, experience personally how other people go through the same thing, right? It's the same, you hear, oh, you are a body mind coach yourself, you inspired so many people. How come, the sentence the person did not complete the sentence, but it comes through, right? And when I discussed with my sister, she was like, no, because of my body weight, I cannot just go and present myself in the public area, right? And I just hurriedly just introduce and I just run away, whenever she goes meets a certain crowd, right? So in a way, I'm very happy to be in this body and experience for a first-hand experience. So, you know, I know I'll be able to help my clients who go through the same experience, right? So,
I
you
love
know,
that you said that you're accepting the journey that you're on, accepting the body weight, because it's not something to fight against. It's like,
yes,
um, we have this picture in our mind that if we had this super thin, fit body, that we would somehow have more value. And it's just not true. It's just something that we've kind of adopted, especially here in the American culture. We've really adopted it. But you're
yes.
starting to see that cultural shift there in India as well.
Cultural shift.
Yeah, you didn't hear
Exactly.
that growing up, but now you're hearing it as an adult. And yeah, that's the types of things that keep us from putting ourselves out there in life. Yeah. If I'm supposed to be ashamed of my body, so I can't, therefore I've got to hurry up and hide it. I've got to hurry up and get away. I can't spend a lot of time with these people. And it's such a shame
It's a
because
shame. Yes, shame and guilt that is
yes,
carried.
yeah. And so I think part of the doorway is learning, and as we will continue to keep unpacking this over the year, is learning to embrace the body, first the body we're in currently, without the shame and the guilt, learning how to let go of all of those things. So those are some of the tips that we'll probably be discussing along the way,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a great introduction to um, what we're hoping for. And as we put this out there in social media and stuff, if anybody has any questions
Yes.
or any comments, I hope that they would be engaged in the conversation, that they'd be open to the conversation. And so there's more than one doorway to discovery. And so
One doorway. You know what clicked my mind, Shell, just when you said cultural shift? While growing up, we watched our movie stars. Our movie stars were not skinny around that time. Okay, women had fat around the belly, and people thought they looked at them and they enjoyed those movies. And I remember my husband's grandmom, women thought when if you are a very skinny one, they they wondered if how the fertility or how the woman is going to have a child. So they did not believe in having a very skinny body. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's so interesting because in our culture now, if you're
Yes.
overweight then there's the fear that is given out to the rest of us in the world is that you'll also have the same problem.
Even
And so
outside.
here's a culture that says if you're too thin, you could have a fertility issue. And we have the opposite here right now. A lot of times there's a lot of overweight women that are or that don't have issues with fertility. It's not yes, it can be an issue for some people if they have more weight on them or if they don't have enough. But I would then say that it's just only one component of probably what is going on in their body to begin with. But culturally, we do have a tendency to pull something that we've heard. Maybe it's, you know, the older women in the tribe that are saying, oh yeah, the younger woman, she's going to have problems with fertility. Or it's, you know, what we
Yeah.
hear here with the doctors saying, oh, if you're overweight, you're going to have all these problems. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of my clients and myself personally, when I was at my heaviest, did not have all these other health symptoms that I was being told I was going to have because of my weight.
Right.
Now, putting that aside for a moment, that doesn't mean that I didn't want to work on my weight, because I wanted to
Yes.
feel better about things. But I learned that the doorway through feeling better was to decide to feel good where I was at as I worked through
Mhm.
that journey of desiring to release some weight off my body. And so it's one of those things, once again, when you invite curiosity in, when you invite um, just a more gentleness and an acceptance in. I think people have a lot of fear that, oh, if I accept my weight, I won't be able to lose it, and that I don't.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
that's actually the opposite is true. When I can accept myself where I'm at, where I can accept my weight, where I can learn to discover my
Mhm.
the more able and capable I am of living the life that I want to live, because
Right.
it's more than just a weight loss issue. So so that, yeah, that's a great place to start, and I can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yep. So I'm taking away the points, Shell. One, accepting the body, right? Accepting and getting into this body, right? So that, I can start shape shifting and
Yes.
identifying as a person, right? Who am I at core? So those are the two things I get from this discussion.
Yes.
And doorway, and people who are going to listen to this, there are many doorways. What is that for you? And maybe people can
Oh
tell
yeah,
us in the comments, right?
I love that. And so I'll end our session today with this. Thank you for giving us the opportunity this morning to explore how struggles with weight really are a doorway into becoming who we are, our identity, who we're supposed to be. Or like I said, I think it's like part of the identity has always been in me, and now I get to give myself permission to become who I was always meant to be. And so it'll be fascinating to continue this journey with you, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.